I'm ranking power drill brands. Hola! I'm Mike, the Backyard Mechanic. Happy Easter! I'm just a little behind on my videos. Stay tuned until the end. I'll have a big announcement that will change my channel forever. I'm going to be reviewing different cordless drills categorized as good, better, best, and banana. What is a banana, you ask? This is a banana. Any one of these drills would make a great gift for Easter or New Year's or President's Day or 3-day. 3-day. 2-day. Today. Treat yourself. Before I begin, I want to give a shout out to fan of the show Jeff, who 3D printed these cool coasters as well as the stands that stand them up so you can see them. And that Mustang. And another shout out to fan of the show Ben, who 3D printed this cool bottle of bourbon. I think it's 3D printed. He said it was. Tastes 3D printed. I believe this was made with a Bamboo Labs A1 printer. I usually take 3 weeks to 2 months to write a video. I wrote this one in 45 minutes, which is why Mustang, the best brands, are the town shop keep. So what makes one drill cost more than another? There are a lot of factors, of course. The speed and torque of the drill are the most important factors. Speed is how fast the drill can spin, while torque is how much force it can apply. Higher priced drills are made from better materials, closer tolerances, use metal over plastic, more innovation, and rigorous testing. Lighter drills are more comfortable to use, especially over long periods of time. A good testing procedure will drop tools from certain heights, run them for days, heat them up and freeze them, and turn them on and off millions of times. Another primary difference is brushed versus brushless. What is the difference? Well, here's an example of brushless, but right now the focus is on the electronic differences. Traditional brushed motors have contacts that, as the motor spins, changes the polarity of the armature, which spins inside of permanent magnets. Brushless motors, which became practical in the late 80s, invert this scenario. The permanent magnets spin on the inside of a stationary armature. The outside armature's polarity is changed with an electronic controller. The main limitations of brushed motors include high maintenance due to the wearing brushes and commutator, limited high-speed capability due to brush arcing, lower efficiency from friction between brushes and commutator, increased electrical noise, and lower acceleration and deceleration rates compared to brushless motors. All from physical contact between the brushes and commutator, which wears down over time. We could talk about what brands are best or which brands are worst. You say tomato, I say chlamydia. And like chlamydia, here's what to avoid. Off the bat, I dismiss Mac, Matco, and Snap-on. Overpriced. At least insofar as the extra price does not equal whatever extra quality they may claim. I know, I'm the Backyard Mechanic and these are brands that are designed for mechanics. That's sacrilege. Don't believe me? This Mac drill driver is $260. That's a lot of bucks for a bare tool. Let's look at the features. Power is delivered to the stationary electromagnets through electronic circuitry, eliminating brushes. That's a fancy way of saying brushless motor. Isn't their clientele professional? It sounds like they're talking to 5-year-olds. Ergonomic handle with textured anti-slip comfortable grip. That's great and all, but what else would you say? The handle is not very comfortable. In fact, it will squirt out of your hand like a bar of soap. Look at this Matco drill driver. Ah, but this one has a battery included. That makes $619 totally worth it. It's not even brushless. You know what I bet this $600 drill sounds like? But the crowning achievement of overpriced drills belongs to Snap-on. This isn't even a drill driver. The average mechanic in the United States makes $1,000 a week. They need to work a whole week to afford to drill a hole. Or like I said, whole week. Metabo, aka Hitachi, doesn't have a large enough battery-powered product line, so I'm not ranking it. That said, my Metabo framing nailer has been awesome. but it's not a battery-powered tool. Bosch gets an honorable mention because it makes a lot of top 10 lists. It does well in performance tests, but when you go to forums, you almost never hear from anyone who's using Bosch. And I don't have one. The other honorable mention is Makita. The brand is a little more geared for woodworking, but I'm more focused on my cars and less focused on my wood. I heard it. You can't go wrong with Makita. I just don't own any. Craftsman has kind of fallen behind the pack in quality. But hey, I have this ancient corded Craftsman drill from my machine shop days. We had a pile of broken Craftsman drills, and one day I took a bunch of parts and made one good one. That sounds like how I feel. I wonder if I was made from a pile of used parts. I'm categorizing these brands into good, better, best, banana. Meaning, you'd be better off drilling holes using a banana. It should go without saying, but avoid grocery store brands. Target has Blue Ridge and Stalwart. I think these companies also make dog food. I would have said it was silly to even think about buying a drill from Kroger, but they actually have a Skill brand drill set. Skill is a brand that makes a lot of top 10 lists. Not only that, but the same set is $10 cheaper than Amazon. You know what else Kroger has? Bananas. Definitely avoid brands from Walmart like Boreas, Hart, and Hyper Tough. Walmart also carries drills that would be right at home in any Amazon bargain basement list like Moe, Nexpow, Untamati, or this Vic Jit Kit Vid Lee, which comes in 3 exciting colors. You think I'm making fun, but this drill is $128 off. That's a savings of $24,575. You wouldn't save any money. So what's good? Black & Decker. No, I hear ya. I think that's you. Not gonna get that checked out. I have this Black & Decker Firestorm 12-volt drill that I bought 20 years ago with cigarette butts. This thing is still going. The battery is probably 15 years old. What's good is while most drills have a chuck, this has a Charles. You can swap between a standard drill bit and a 1/4-inch hex bit. Pop in a drill, make a hole, pop in a Phillips bit, drive in the screw. This came in handy for many years as my only drill. In fact, I bought a Black & Decker drill set for Backyard Mechanic Jr. for Christmas. Don't worry, he doesn't watch my videos. I'm not Gen Z enough for him. Not enough skibbity toilet or something. So look, I know Black & Decker is a bargain brand, but it's a bargain brand that's been around for 100 years. They invented the power drill and invented the cordless drill. Black & Decker is just ubiquitous. It's in every hardware store and it's probably in your garage. I even have this circular saw. I don't know who gave it to me, but I've had it since before I was born. What do you mean a power saw is not a good gift for a baby? It's a boy! How's he gonna cut things? He's gonna grow up and need to cut things! God damn Jesus Christ, son of a bitchin' bastard! This video is good, better, best. What's next? Ridgid and Ryobi win the better category. Skill has been around forever, but didn't make the cut. I have one Skill tool, this router. This part came off. I can probably fix it. I need tools to fix my tools. I don't have any Ridgid tools, but it still gets a nod because it has possibly the best guarantee in the business. A lifetime warranty that covers manufacturing defects. It's not the same break it and replace it Craftsman was so famous for, but considering so many things today are built with planned obsolescence, it's nice to have a promise that if it craps out, they will uncrap your situation. Ryobi particularly wins just by the sheer breadth of their lineup. While they'll never win a category of best tool, they're almost always in the conversation. They're not as durable and don't always perform as well, but they are better than good. I have a handful of Ryobi hand tools, including this weed trimmer. I mean, I don't use it on my car much, My Ryobi miter saw was 4 years old when I bought it used, and so far it's been awesome. It's a sliding compound saw with a laser sight, which is really accurate. I have this 5-inch circular saw which I just bought and can't wait to use when building my shed. And I have this 1/2-inch drill driver. So I can hear what you're saying, and you're saying nothing. Because if you were talking to this video, you'd be crazy. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I've checked my YouTube demographics and a solid 3% of my audience is crazy. Not sure if this is a coincidence, but 3% of my audience is also family members. And 10% of my audience is from Liechtenstein? That's a small country. 10% of my audience is like 100% of that country. What's the appeal there? Probably my dancing. If you're crazy, like this video. Oh, just do it. Don't listen to the voices, unless the voices are telling you to like it, in which case do it. What was I saying? Oh, I was saying what you were saying. What brand is best? I've done some research, consulted several lists, watched some videos on the topic, and I believe I can give a relatively solid recommendation on battery power tools. The winners are Milwaukee and DeWalt. Again, Makita is a great brand, but really expensive. Milwaukee and DeWalt win for being performative, long-lasting, and a decent value. I don't have any DeWalt tools, but I have several Milwaukees. Milwaukee does win over DeWalt in cordless drill performance tests, but DeWalt has a stronger battery system and some tools outperform Milwaukee. We're just talking drills here. I'm not saying Milwaukee is better than DeWalt. You can't go wrong with either. I got into Milwaukee because of this 12-volt ratchet, which I picked up a few years ago, and it quickly became my favorite tool. I've since gotten a drill, a reciprocating saw, and this drill driver. All 12 volts, so they could share the same batteries and use one charger. I like the 12-volt system because they're a little cheaper and more compact. But the 18-volt is more powerful, and in many brands the 18-volt has more tools. Another bonus is I'm able to buy third-party batteries for about 1/3 the price of OEM. No, they do not last as long, but sometimes quantity wins over quality. If you're wondering how to test if a battery's good, it's like we did when we were kids with the 9-volt battery. Maybe that wasn't such a good idea. Okay, enough talky talk. Let's see the drills in action. Let's start by driving a screw with a banana. That didn't work. Let's try an apple. Okay, that didn't work. Let's try an orange. At least now we're comparing apples and oranges. I think we can safely put this fruit in the Walmart category. I know bananas aren't the most heterosexual of fruits, and I know I just switched the bananas from a category to a tool, but to all that I say, you're focusing way too much on the banana. First demo, the ancient Black & Decker. Now the Backyard Mechanic Junior Black & Decker. Now the Milwaukee. Now the Ryobi drill driver. Now the Milwaukee drill driver. One thing I learned in my attic, if you're driving a lot of screws, you need a drill driver. A standard drill just doesn't have the power to drive a long screw. Another thing I learned is that Torx screws are becoming more common. The Torx holds better than a Phillips, which likes to slide, skip, and strip. Yes, Phillips is a girl of baby dolls, but this also applies to screws. I don't mean to focus too much on my wood, but the drill driver is great for removing screws and small bolts on cars. I heard it again. I recently used it to remove some large bolts on the Tacoma. Did I say Tacoma? Future video. As a quick review for what we saw here, the old Black & Decker struggled mightily. It did get the holes drilled with a fight. It did screw in the screws, but only flush and then it stopped. The new Black & Decker did a little bit better. Actually, it did a lot better. It drilled the holes with a little less effort, and it screwed in the screws and pushed them down about 1/4 of an inch. Not too bad. Surprisingly, the Milwaukee, which is only a year old, it struggled with the holes and it struggled with the screws. It like stopped. However, I had it on 2, so let's try transmission 1. Okay, so what we saw there is that it had a lot more power on gear 1. Ryobi, pretty good performance. It powered right through with the holes and it could have screwed the screws right through that wood. Pretty much the same with the Milwaukee. Drilled right through the wood and it could have kept on screwing those screws with the addition that it has the jackhammer sound, which I kind of like. While I was thinking what you were thinking, I was also thinking you were thinking, why would you ever use a standard drill over a drill driver? Today, almost any tool bit you could want would come in a 1/4 inch hex bit, so a chuck or even a Charles would seem unnecessary. This much is true. The difference is the driver has a rotating hammer that gives extra torque. Sometimes you don't want that at all, and you want the drill motor to actually back off before it strips the screw, the bit, or breaks the part. I'll show a demo here with these pre-drilled holes in these 3 screws. The goal here is to drive these screws in flush. I can adjust the clutch on the drill to stop driving when it hits a certain amount of force. The drill driver doesn't have any sort of adjustment and will just keep going until you manually back off. It's good to have both. At the beginning I mentioned a big announcement that will change my channel forever, and unfortunately it's bad news. Ratchet is gone. He got too big for my channel. He became a big free agent and was offered a large contract to go do ratchety things somewhere else. He forwarded some pics though. Well, he didn't, of course. He had his secretary do it. The good news is we're not going to miss a beat here at Mike the Backyard Mechanic. Drive Shaft has promised to step up. Isn't that right, Drive Shaft? Drive Shaft, hey, do something cute. Okay, good. Oh, I have a fan online. Hey fan, did you like the video?
Well, you're making projects easier and improving the economy. Drill, baby, drill!
Thanks, fan. If you like this video, watch my video from last year where I showed 20 gift ideas for under 20 bucks. I played that video for laughs. I'm nowhere near as serious as I was in this one.
This sucks.
Yeah. I think I better get that checked out. I have a big announcement that, well, I've got earbuds in. I bought a Black & Decker drill for Blackyard Mechanic Jr. This is really hard to say. I have this Black & Decker Firestorm 12-volt drill that I bought without a chuck. You can swap between standard drill bits and 1/4 inch hex bits that I just dropped on the floor.